Hello everyone and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. This video will be separate on YouTube and also attached to a Renegades seal title guide in the pinned comment and description of that video. But if you want to stay tuned and subscribe for more Destiny guides, there are going to be quite a few for Renegades that are going to be coming out in the near future. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of hidden stuff that I wasn't able to cover in the main title guide video. So in this one, we're going to be talking about specifically all three of the catalysts or exotic traits that are hidden within the Fire and Ice exotic mission. So the Fire and Ice exotic mission is playable for the first time in the campaign of Destiny 2 Renegades, but you can revisit it for another Praxic's Path exotic quest step. In this, you can get a secret catalyst, or you could wait and do all three together in a later version on higher difficulty. But this is how you get all three of them. In order to get all of these exotic traits, you need to be on legendary difficulty. The Echoing Blade catalyst is not tied specifically to legendary, so you could do that one separately, but it's probably going to be easier for you to get them all done in the same mode rather than have to worry about doing it over and over again. For me personally, I went and did the Echoing Blade catalyst separately because I wanted to give myself a little bit more time for the realm collapse. So to start out, at the very beginning of the mission, there are two taken knights that are hidden outside on Europa. You'll need to go around the outer edges of Europa and find them before going inside of the vault and beginning the mission. They are always in the same exact spot. They are in the outside area on the farthest left and right hand corner. So here's a location for both of those. Once you defeat both of these taken knights, that's basically all you need to do for now. But there is going to be another part to this later on that'll help you get the catalyst called Upper Hand. Before you begin the Echoing Blade catalyst bit of this guide, you need to shoot all four of the darkness nodes that are kind of hanging around this central area. If you do not, the other catalysts in this mission will not work. So do shoot these before doing the Echoing Blade catalyst. So moving on, let's go back into the next section here where you enter the Ascendant Realm portion of this. This is where something called a Realm Collapse is going to begin on Legendary. But basically what you have to do is find 7 oddities, which are basically just taken blights. You need to find them in this jumping section of Fire and Ice inside the Ascendant Plane, and you can only destroy them with the Praxic Blade. You either need to hit them with it from afar, or hit them up close, or bounce off of different angles to try to get it to reach up into a chasm you can't quite reach yourself. Honestly, there's a couple of ways you can go around it by hitting it by jumping down in front of it, or kind of angling it up and not having to bounce it up off of a ramp. There's a lot of really weird parts towards the end of this that don't really make sense, but here is all 7 of those oddity locations in order from beginning to end of this jumping section. Alright, now that you've destroyed all 7 of the oddities, all you have to do now to get the Echoing Blade Catalyst is finish the mission. But we're not done with the other catalysts, so let's move on to the next section. The next one you can start getting is the Hyperblade Catalyst. This one is right after the jumping section. There is going to be a spot where you have the black and the white blights. The way that this puzzle works is you have cleaved enemies on the front left, the back left, front right, and back right parts of this map around the 4 blights. There are 2 darkness and 2 light blights. In order to get paired energy, you need to defeat either 2 Taken or 2 Imperium enemies that are cleaved. In order to get the opposite energy, you need to defeat a Taken and Imperium cleaved enemy. So it's either 2 of the same or 2 opposite. Upon defeating the cleaved enemy, 4 little blight nodes will drop. You can pick up all 4 of them and throw them into each of the corresponding orbs. If you take these little orbs and throw them into the big ones, you can only do 2 at a time, otherwise it will restart the balance. You want to do 2 at a time so that it's balanced across each of the different blights. But that is not how we're supposed to do it for the catalyst. If you want to get the catalyst, you have to intentionally do it incorrectly. You have to throw 3 of the same matching color into the orb so that it creates an imbalance. That imbalance will spawn a Warden mini-boss that once you defeat it, will spawn a little Taken Blight oddity in the center of the map. You want to do this once for each of the 4 different blights so that you can have those little miniature oddities in the center of the map. Once all 4 oddities are there, destroy them all with your Praxic Blade, and a large Taken Ogre will spawn. Defeat this Ogre, and that guarantees your Hyperblade Catalyst at the very end. Remember at the beginning of this video when you went outside and you destroyed all those Taken Knights? Yeah, this is where we come back to this. After the previous encounter, you're going to go through a part where you have to flip the Ascendant Plane. Do not go back into the portal to continue on with the mission towards the final boss fight. Instead, go back outside where those knights were, and they're going to find 2 more Taken oddities in their place. Destroy both of those with the Praxic Blade, and then move on to the final boss fight. Now in the final boss fight, you're going to be doing the same exact thing that you were in the final bit of its health bar, the paired and the opposite energy orbs, and throwing them into the blights. But instead of it being both, this time you see that there's only one, the darkness one up top. But because you've activated the upper hand catalyst by this point, by doing the previous steps, you now have 2 light blights directly underneath the boss platform. So now you do have to cycle between the opposite and paired energy and get all of the blights finished before the final boss fight. You need to do the light ones first, and then you do the darkness ones so that you can finish the attacks on your final boss. Once both the light blights are filled and balanced, then you complete the encounter as normal and bring down the shield and defeat the boss, guaranteeing all 3 catalysts when you enter the final room. Hope you guys enjoyed this video on how to get all 3 of the exotic catalyst traits for the Praxic Blade Lightsaber. There are going to be more secret locations for the Exotic Praxic Blade later on, but they're going to be tied to the Equilibrium dungeon. I will talk about those at a later time. For those of you who are coming from the Renegades video, I hope this helped, and I hope this was informational and much better than rushing it for the previous video you just watched. If you want to stay tuned on this channel for more guide videos, I'll be doing one on all of the tape locations and the ghost locations as those release over the coming weeks. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.